Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Throughout this season, I'm going to be making NFL picks here on YouTube. I hope you follow along. I'll post videos at predictfootball.blogspot.com. And let me just say, I know I enjoy what everyone does on YouTube, especially when it comes to boxing and football. With regard to football, let's face it, in the mainstream media, gambling is frowned upon. People don't like to talk openly about lines. Players can't talk about their betting experiences or lines because people will think that they're throwing games. And of course, in the real world, they're trying to get interviews with players. They don't want to offend the NFL. They want the television rights, the broadcast rights for the sports they cover. Here online, we don't have those problems, so we can be brutally honest. And let's start by being honest about this Arizona Cardinal game where the Cardinals are favored by 7 over the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. Now, I loved Cam Newton in college. Let's be blunt. I don't think he's ready for the NFL. Nothing I've seen in the preseason, and I mean nothing, indicates to me that Cam Newton at this stage of his career is ready to play in the NFL. Not only that, the SEC, I have to question that collegiate conference in its preparation of quarterbacks for the National Football League. I think it's obvious that Tim Tebow, even today, is not as NFL ready as, let's say, someone like Ryan Mallett is in New England. So I like the Arizona Cardinals laying the 7 points, and that's a big line against the Carolina Panthers. I understand that Carolina has an excellent running game, not to detract from that, but that running game, unfortunately, won't have the passing game to keep the defense guessing. So my first pick in this week 1 of the 2011 NFL season is to take Arizona at home, laying the 7 points against the Carolina Panthers. The next game, the Eagles, laying 4.5 on the road against Sam Bradford and the St. Louis Rams. All I can say is I keep hearing that the Eagles have a lot of new players. When those new players are guys like Nnamdi Asomugha, I think you'll be able to handle the transition. Let me also point out, too, that Sam Bradford statistically had a pretty good year last year. Of course, Sam Bradford really doesn't throw downfield. And when you're trying to throw downfield against this Eagles secondary, especially when the Eagles are going to be bringing blitzes, I think that's a recipe for disaster. Not only that, the Eagles are fast on grass. On turf, they're a blur. I think the Eagles are the fastest team in the National Football League. I think you put them on the field in St. Louis, they'll be even faster. Speed kills. I like the Eagles laying the 4.5 points. Also, and I'm a Giants fan, I like the Giants laying 3 against the Skins. It's hard for me to imagine a defense from last year that was worse than the Washington Redskin defense. And all I could say is Eli Manning, back-to-back 4,000-yard passing seasons. You're talking about a Giant rushing attack that's underrated. Ahmad Bradshaw, Brandon Jacobs. I just think the Giants are one of the more underrated teams going into this season, and they're playing a team that, quite frankly, is still rebuilding and that just named Rex Grossman as its starting quarterback. I like the Giants laying the 3. It's a dangerous bet because that's a intra-divisional shindig, and these two teams are very well acquainted with each other. But I just think that the Giants have vastly more talent. I like the Giants laying the 3. Also, let's go one further. The Dallas Cowboys are traveling to the Meadowlands, whatever they call it these days with the new stadium, to play the Jets. And understand that Jet D at home is absolutely brutal, right? If you go back and look at the stats from last year at home, the only team to put up meaningful points against the Jets, and even this team didn't get to 30, were the Houston Texans. I like the under in this game, the under 40 and a half points, right? I don't know who wins the game. I'm just expecting the game to be low scoring. I don't think Tony Romo is going to be able to, hit Miles Austin or Des Bryant with regularity. I'm still trying to figure out who the Cowboys will have rushing the football. Please don't tell me Felix Jones. That's just not realistic, right? As for the Jets, all I could say is that Mark Sanchez, the GQ cover boy, just isn't, in my opinion, an elite quarterback. In other words, when I look at him, and he's been in the league long enough now, right, I don't see Drew Brees, right? I see a solid quarterback who can win on the road in big games, right? But he's more of a game manager. He's not Phillip Rivers. He's not going to drop 4 touchdowns on you. So I think that he puts a cap somewhat on the Jet offense. I know I'm sounding hard, but hey, money is tight. These are hard times in America, so let's just cut through the crap. I don't consider Mark Sanchez to be a 30-point-a-game quarterback. I don't consider the Jet offense to be high-powered, even though they have high-powered parts like Santonio Holmes. So I'm expecting the under 40 and a half points in that Jet-Dallas game. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here on YouTube. Let us know your best picks. Let's make this a Gamblers Advisory Forum where we're sharing picks with one goal in mind, and that goal is to beat the casino. Thanks for watching.